Okay, so good afternoon or good morning to everybody. Okay, now we will proceed with the next topic about environment. Okay, with regards to the role of business in the environment and how the environment affects the firm. The role of business and then how will this environment affects the firm. So as we all know, business is not uh, if it will function as a whole and it will be affected by outside forces outside forces within that will be outside of the organization. So we have discussed last meeting, okay, with the uh, different roles of a manager, the definition, okay, first week the definition of concepts, definition of management, concepts, and theories needed for a business to run smoothly. And then including the roles and then skills needed, okay, for a manager to function properly in his job as a manager. And those ideas that we have discussed, they will give you an overview of what are the things uh, you will handle in the future once you become a manager. And then now, uh, being a manager, you will also consider the things that is affecting externally to the business. And that is very important in order for you to achieve your goal to become one of the successful business in a particular area. Okay? So if you're living in Paranaque, so in Paranaque, okay? So what are the things needed in this module? So the learner should be able to analyze various forces or elements influencing local and international business environment by having the Pest and SWOT analysis. So those are the things we will consider in this video created for students. Okay, so some students can be very efficient in reading printed modules, and other students are very efficient in listening and viewing the explanation that will come from a teacher, yeah, an instructor or a teacher. Now, I will present my screen, okay, presenting a window. Okay, so the role of business in the environment and how the environment affects the firm. So that is our topic, and that is Mr. National. Okay, so what are the things needed? Okay, for a moment. Okay. Role of the business in the environment and how the environment affects the firm. But before we proceed, let's have some exercise activity. Exercise activity. So okay, this is the direction. In a global market firm, or even in local, like the Lara Erica's shoe manufacturing. So this is only a situation created by Sir Jake Laspinas in Marikina City, where the rate of change is rapidly increasing. Flexibility and adaptability are crucial to the managerial process. because of technology, but they still need to utilize managerial functions to survive with the rapidly changing business environment. Now, please enumerate the five key managerial functions, and then, yeah, should be in a box. Okay, so number one, two, three, four, five. Okay, so you already have a clue what are the five managerial functions. Okay, so what are those five managerial functions that we have discussed last meeting? Okay, number one, what is that? Start uh, a letter L in the middle. Number two, a letter A, almost in the last part. Number three, A, letter T, almost in the middle. Number four, okay, last part, you have an I, and number five, an N, okay, in the middle. Okay, so it's up to you to answer uh, the, the, the questions, okay, the questions okay, about the planning managerial functions, five key managerial functions. Oops. Okay, so we need to consider uh, the business environment. Okay, so we have two environments that affects the business. One of that is the micro environment, okay, and the other one is macro environment. So you can see the differences between the two, micro and then macro environment. Okay, so in business environment, the sum of collections of all internal and external factors, what are those? This one, competitors, uh, customers, competitors, media, employees, shareholders, and suppliers. So this affects business and considered part of micro environment. Okay, so inside the business, there are you have the control. Okay, but outside of the business, there is some aspects wherein you can directly be affected. The micro, consider that as micro environment. These factors affect the function of the company and how company works directly or indirectly. So that is in the module. So what some of these factors influences the company or business organization environment and situation. It is the most important aspect of the business. So the forces which constitute the business environment as what we can see here. Okay? So we are very familiar with competitors. When say competitors, uh, these are companies, companies that are doing the same product. Okay? So doing the same product. We can consider them as competitors. Okay, why we need to consider that? Because it will also affect the number of markets, okay, of our business. So if we have many competitors, so expect that our share in the market will also be lessened. And we need to accept that if you will start your business, you will also have a competitor, a competition. Yeah, this is very important. It will either have a positive effect in your business or have a negative effect on your business. So if your competitor provides uh, more quality product, a better quality product than your product, so I think you need to make your business improve in order to compete. And of course, you are competing with the customer, okay, about customers. So customers can be considered as your market, okay, wherein you will consider the needs and wants of these customers. If you can consider the needs for a particular customers, and you will be providing a product that will fit the needs of the customer. So that will be an assurance that your business will have somebody to buy your product. And then, uh, of course, when it comes to customers, market, you need to consider also the price based on your module. The price needs to be considered. So every business, although not only price, but of course it can also determine your success if you have a competitive price. Okay? Pricing that can be afforded by your target customer. Okay? And another one, it is media. Okay? But media should be at the last part. Okay? But media is also very important when it comes to marketing or advertising your product to the customer. Okay? So some of the well-known products, they are making use of the television, okay, commercials, in order for their product to be advertised. But now, since we have different modes, okay, how to reach customers, we have the social media. For some, okay, majority or many of the business now is adjusting to this type of market, making use of the social media for them to attract customers. Okay? And then employees is also very important, okay, with your business. Why? Because they are the ones who are creating the product. And then if your employees is not satisfied, or if your employees are having a complaint, okay, with your business, that can also be affect your business in the long run. Okay, so you need to consider also your employees. They should be satisfied, and then they will need to consider uh, the things they are doing in the company. Okay? So if we remember the aspect created by Elton Mayo, okay, his theory with regards to employees' complaint. So we also need to consider that. And then shareholders, when it comes to shareholders, they are not merely investors, okay? But they sometimes own shares of the company. So they are actually owners of the company in a way, okay? Because they are the shareholders. This means they get a say in the running of the company. Shareholders will also demand of a return of their investment. So it is the company's duty to earn profit and to pass on these benefits to the shareholders. Employees, shareholders can also affect the business. And another thing is the suppliers. So these are the suppliers of materials to the company. So if you have a good relationship with the supplier, and then suppliers are giving high quality materials for your company, so you will also be expecting later on a good quality product. But of course, there are things you will do in order to achieve a good quality product. But one of the prerequisites that having a good quality material, okay, that will come from suppliers. So this six aspects comprises the microenvironment of the business. So it is interreacting, relating with the business. And you as a manager will consider these aspects if you want that your business will become one of the successful business in a particular area. Okay, so let's move on with the macro environment. So what happened with the micro? It is smaller compared to the macro environment, which composed of social, technological, economic, uh, ecology, physical, political, and socio-cultural. Okay? The socio-cultural environment are values and culture of the environment, and it will also be a huge have a huge role in the functioning of the company. Okay? Socio-cultural. So when the social environment changes, it can have a direct or indirect effect on the company based on the module. Okay? Uh, so it will greatly affect a social and then culture. And then what are the examples here? In recent time, society has seen a shift and people no longer retire at 60. So retirement. They work 5, 10 years and more after 60. So this has had huge impact on companies. Social cultural, the culture, working culture of the business. And of course, if your employees are already over 60, there will be an advantage because they already have the expertise. But there is also a disadvantage. What is that? If your employees are already old, there is a tendency that they will get sick. Okay? So you will be expecting some changes when it comes to uh, having a leave of absence, and other things. Benefits, of course. Okay, you need to consider that. But it is still very important. Okay? The culture, the outside culture, it will also affect the business. So the business can either change, improve, and adapt with the culture, the outside culture of the business. And then uh, that will be also a challenge. Okay, so as I've said a while ago, if when it comes to benefits, that will also be an additional cost. Okay, sometimes there are business they, because they have the control. Okay, private businesses they have the control, so they can set before they can set the age limit, the age limit required for an operator to be hired. So if that is above 25, it will not be qualified before. It will not be qualified to uh, the particular position. Okay? So those are some of the cultures that affect the business. But as you can see, based on that situation, the business they is setting the requirements for particular employees to be hired. Okay? So there are also times wherein a business uh, will set a, uh, for an employee. They can offer an employee to uh, they retire if they already have reached a particular age, for example, 50. So for them to encourage, of course, there will be an additional payment once they retire. So for business, yes, that is good, but also it affects, it can also be an additional cost. But this cost, it should always be considered by the business because uh, business should be there and you have to consider also your employees. Okay, so when it comes to technology, technological environment, uh, yes, it is all constantly changing, and it is important that business can keep up with the changes when it comes to technology. So, as we have observed, we've been left behind when it comes to uh, technological advances. Why? Because we still need to buy rice outside the country. So in other countries, they are more advanced. So they can create more rice. They have the capability of selling rice to other countries. So that will be a challenge in technology in our country. So we need to improve our technology in order for us to be self-sustained, self-sustained in our country. So technological advances is very important in to consider in macro environment. So instead of buying locally is not available. So you will look for technology outside of the country. Okay? So that will be a challenge. And if you want to be productive, if you want to compete okay, with competitors outside of the country, so you need to secure the quality of your materials, quality of your products. If in the community it is not available, you will get your materials outside of the country. So, but if the technological advances is already being considered in our country and you can buy locally, so you will be helping other businesses locally, and of course, that will also be a lesser cost for the company. So technological advances really affecting the business. And when it comes to economic conditions of the market, economic conditions of the economy and performance of a business have very close relationship. Business depends on the economy for all its inputs and factors of production. Okay? And it sells its products and services in the same market. Okay? If, for example, we have a, a successful economy, so you don't need to go out to sell to other countries if okay, there will be buyers locally. Okay? If local citizens in our country will be capable in buying our products. So we don't need to go out to other country and sell our products there because we will also consider many things if you will sell to other country. Okay, so economic situations, conditions of the market. If, for example, they are suffering, they no jobs, so what do you think? They cannot buy. They cannot buy products easily buy unless it is one of their needs. Okay? And ecology or physical environment, it also play a huge part in performance of any business. Ecology, especially true when manufacturing, production companies. Okay, let us take it, for example, global warming, okay, ecology or physical. So global warming uh, is one of the effects of manufacturing a business, and especially those who are having their uh, it, products, or it is causing pollution. For example, it can either be the government will do something with the business, or the business will do something in order for the business not to affect the environment, so the ecology or physical environment. Okay, and most business today, okay, are considering it. That's why they are going to green. Okay, green marketing, green. So it signifies it signifies that business now are considering the environment when it comes to production. Okay, and political and legal. Okay, political and legal environment refers to the laws, regulations, and judgment, okay, initiated by the government. It will also include taxation laws, budget for a given year based on the module. So legal requirements. If your business will not be considering the legal requirements, there will be possibility that your business will be closed down because you're not paying tax. So it should be, if you're operating, your business should be also giving the proper requirements, okay, uh, required by the government. So before you start your business, see to it that you are paying tax. See to it that you will be paying, and then allotting some of the uh, uh, profit will- that will be allowed and will be given to for the purpose of taxation. Okay, and also the taxation, uh, in order for the government to perform well with its job, okay, they are expecting that business will be supporting the government through paying tax. So that is very important. And this environment, business environment, we have considered micro, macro environment. Uh, we need this too. We need to consider this too in order for us, okay, for the business to have a successful planning. Okay, by having the SWOT analysis. When it comes to SWOT analysis, these are the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. Okay, so strength and weaknesses. Some of the books and in our module, uh, strength is particularly one way to distinguish you from competitors. So it can be motivation of your staff, uh, okay, access of certain materials, or strong set of manufacturing process. So those can be one of the strengths of your business. Things that you will consider as strong point internally. Okay? So strength, internal, weaknesses, also internal. Okay? When you say weaknesses, those are inherent features of your organization. Focus on people, resources, systems, and procedures. So there might be some restraints when it comes to operation. dealing with your people. It can be one of your weaknesses. If your people is the majority of your people is always resigning, can be one of your business. There's something that you need to improve. The weaknesses are the things you need to improve. Strength are the things that you will consider as your stronghold. But when it comes to opportunities, chances for something positive to happen, but you will need to claim them for yourself. They usually arise from situations outside of your organization. So opportunities outside of your organization, you will also consider that. If you will be a manager, think of other opportunities related to your business. It can either be additional product, it can either be uh, opportunities of starting a new business, a branch, and other things. Then you can stay, you will consider outside aspects. And threat, when it comes to threat, anything that can negatively affect your business from the outside, such as supply chain problems, shift in marketing requirements, or a shortage of recruits. Okay, so those are the examples. It's vital to anticipate threats and to take action against them before you become a victim of them and your growth explodes. Okay, so you as a successful manager should always check over possible threat, okay, so that beforehand you can prepare for it. So these things, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat, during planning, you will consider this as a team. Okay, have a brainstorming. What are our strength, and then the weaknesses, things to improve, opportunities. While you're doing your product, and then you can see opportunities outside, a new market, new product that can be offered. And of course, when it comes to threat, you will also uh, check if what will be the things you will do once it arrives. Okay. And another thing is pest analysis, the composed of economical factors, social factors, technological factors. This is also very important in planning. Not only SWOT analysis, pest analysis also. Okay? Especially if you are planning for the longer aspect of your business, having the strategical plan. Okay? So pest analysis includes four factors, as we have mentioned now. When it comes to political factors, relates on how the government intervenes in the economy, politics. Political factors have areas including tax policy, okay, labor law, environmental law, trade restriction, tariff. Okay, this is what I'm saying, tariff. Having, okay, allowing rice, for example. They are removing tariff, so tariff of rice. So if they will do that, they will remove the tariff for rice. More outside products from other country will come in, and of course it will compete with the products locally. Okay, so the government also considers the life, okay, of his citizen, okay, in order for them to to compete also. If there's no tariff, it can be negative to local creators, to local suppliers. If there will be high tariff, of course, the the products coming in from other countries will be limited. And then, of course, political stability. Okay? After changing, okay, persons who are leading the country. Okay. And then when it comes to economic factors, economic growth, exchange rates, inflation rates, and interest rates, okay, it will greatly affect the business. So inflation rate when it comes to our buying capacity, okay, there will be an effect if inflation is sudden changes, and of course interest rates. If you'll be applying for a loan and the interest rates are very high, oh, so you cannot, yes, you can file for a loan, but of course you will be having problems, okay, with the high rates. Okay. Instead of that will be part of your profit, you will be paying that to the banks. And social factors includes cultural aspects and health consciousness, population growth rate, increase of population, age distribution, career attitudes, emphasis on safety. The high trends in social factors affect the demand for a company products and how that company operates. So as you can see, aging population implies smaller and less willing workforce. Right? But as you can see, we have many available workforce in our country. So some of our workforce, they are going abroad. Right? So we have plenty of applicants for a particular uh, position. Okay. And of course, the skills required, for example, skills required for an applicant. So if you cannot find the applicant which have a particular skill, so what will be the things you will do? You have to have a training first. Okay? You have to train the new employee in order for them to be knowledgeable, okay, every time or in the start of their job in your company. And of course, technological factors. When it comes to technology, you really need skilled workers. And then the research and development activity, automation, technology incentives, and rate of technological change. This can determine barriers to entry, minimum efficient production level, and influence the outsourcing decisions. Okay, furthermore, technological shifts would affect cost, quality, lead to innovation. So there are times wherein instead of human will be doing the activities in the production. Machines will be invested. Okay, it can be yield to additional or lessen the number of employees. But of course, since machines are very with a high cost, so managers will decide if they will prefer to have machines or they and then have improvement or they will retain the employees but no improvement at all. So business should decide for those situations. Now let's go to uh, let's apply. So let's apply as you can see here modified true or false. Write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is wrong. And provide the word or phrase that makes the statement true. So you can choose between, you can answer the following topics. Okay. And the other one, okay, Okay, let's examine how we're going to analyze factors affecting the business. The next activity, a test your capability and how to assess the organization's company in regards to its political, economic, social, and technological factors. The direction is using the diagram below, create a SWOT analysis of business outsourcing companies. Explain your scheme on each box. Okay, so on that box. And this one is the last activity. Okay, choose which type of business environment does the statement report indicate whether it is microenvironment or macro environment. Okay, so that's all. Okay, thank you for listening. Goodbye.